do ask that you please limit your questions to 2 at a time. Thank you. Cam is working on granting everyone permission to record, and we'll send a message once we do. All right, looks like everyone should have permission to record. First up, Eric Goodman. Go for it, Eric.
Hey, Josh, obviously this match carried extra emotion. I think everybody felt it. Seems like both teams genuinely did go all out, for the win in this rivalry. So when you look at a match kind of near the end of the season, where do you think this team still needs to grow in order to win and get results in these big end of season matches?
Yeah, a number of areas. I think the maturity and certainly the discipline that we constantly talked about. When we've been in our best moments, we've showed some good discipline in maintaining organization. And there were things we talked about today with this opponent and knowing what they wanted to and how they can hurt you. And by and large, it was a pretty good controlled performance for us. And where we get into trouble is those little ways that they can, that we start to make the field a bit bigger and start to go when we don't necessarily need to. And that's where they're dangerous. Then they can have space. And obviously we've talked about being able to keep our lines a little bit tighter, a little bit lower. So again, I think discipline and the maturity. We obviously need to also bring in more personnel, more competitive personnel in a number of areas. And those are things that's already being talked about and addressed. But it was a solid performance, to be honest. And, we gave up the red card unnecessarily. The long ball that everybody sees coming, we should be reacting to better. It's not a part of the field that we need to go press in. This is what we talked about previously. And that hurts us. The red card, prior to that red card, I know they started the half with a little chance, but after that, they didn't have a whole heck of a lot. And then we had a good control of it, created some decent opportunities. And then obviously it's going to be a grind when you go down a guy, but it's disappointing in some levels, certainly.
Thank you. Next up, Chris Bills. Go for it, Chris.
Thanks, Laura. Hi, Josh. Seems like speed on the back line has been an issue that's sort of crept up on you guys a number of times, but certainly later in this season. Tonight, I guess, can you kind of explain why Jean has not been starting the last couple matches, and also just how much that is an area where you guys need to get better this offseason?
Yeah, I think backline speed, we've talked about it for a while. It certainly hasn't crept up on us. We lost Beasler and he's been out 12, 13 games. So we've talked about the speed with certainly our center backs and our fullbacks. But again, the mistakes are not just based on speed. There's recognition as to what's happening on the play. Is the pressure? Where's our line? Should we be dropping? So those are all things we've talked about. We work on. We got to continue to work on. You got to get them right all the time. And that's the layering in the detail and the consistency with the players. But Z's been a good player for us. Obviously tonight, again, Hector and Diego have a good understanding. We were aware of Obrian's speed. It was a concern. It obviously they got behind us in the first half with Nicky. So I like that matchup for Nicky a little bit. And I just like Hector and Diego's, for the most part, their understanding, they're able to overload. So that was part of the idea there. And again, I thought, for the most part, those guys performed fairly well. The first goal, again, getting pressure to the ball with Musa. If it's not there, Sebastian or Cecilio can drop a little bit. Nicky can stay more narrow. And once there's no pressure, we need to drop. And again, reactions after that are difficult. Johan needs to come out and address the ball as well when we get progressed out in the wide areas. But, speed, absolutely. Physicality, absolutely. There's some areas that we've got to address, but we also, play good soccer, and we've got to find pieces that are going to help us there as well. But, there's certainly some areas that we've talked about and we'll get addressed.
Thank you. Next up, Mark Turner. Go for it, Mark.
Thanks, Laura. Hey, Coach. There were several key moments dotted throughout the match, but arguably the two most key of the moments were
right onto Main Street.
were conceding the goal right after you scored and the PK. I'm wondering what your take is on both of those moments.
I think again, the goal right after we scored is disappointing. Again, I think Gite is in a position where he can get a little pressure, and if he goes and gets pressure, Cecilio is giving him cover, and when he doesn't get pressure, Cece gets caught in a little bit of no man's land, so they clip it over him. But there's still a lot of work to do. We still have 7 guys below the ball, and again, once we don't get pressure to that, we should collectively just stay compact, start dropping our line until we can address the ball carrier. And when we don't do that, they bypass Nicky. And Johan's in a position, he's not far enough over to help out quicker, and it's a little bit of dominoes. So those are things again that we've got to continue to work on and get these guys to understand it more. Because when we have good height, good structure, good pressing cues, we make it pretty challenging. But some of these goals are just too easy. So unfortunately, that one they got one back right away after we did, killed a little bit of the momentum for us. And then obviously the red card was a big one. What was that, the second one that you were talking about? I'm sorry, Mark.
Yeah, it was. I wonder whether or not you thought it was a red card. I mean, from my vantage point, it looked like it was a bad first touch. Player was on the way down already.
Yeah, no, I think it is. I think the player's in a position where Hector, if he puts a hand on him, he's going to get a red. It goes before that though. It's a back pass to the goalie. We have no real need or business to go press right there. We were going to high press just on the goal kicks where it was pretty structured and organized and let them have it there, because these types of balls, 50-50s, duels, there's a lot of things that can happen, but our lack of dropping as that player is hitting the ball is not good enough, and it's very preventable, and it's unfortunate that it happened, but it changed the game. Absolutely.
And then my second question, Coach. Obviously, we saw a peach of a goal this evening from Diego Fagundez, representing his 60th professional career goal.
Yeah.
Just wondered if you wanted to say a word or two about that.
Yeah, Diego's been an extremely good player for us, and we played him in a number of roles this year. He's been as a 6 and an 8 for us early in the year, and he did that extremely well. He's played out left, he's played out right. He's a very responsible, calm player, and he's probably better on the left. He's good in those little pockets, and we've mixed it up a little bit with him and CC last game, and certainly found himself there today. But that's what he gives you around goal, is he scores goals. He's able to combine with guys. He stays relatively calm. And it was a fantastic take. I'd say him and Sebastian, if you put them around goal, they're our best guys around goal. The quality, the precision, the ideas and execution is extremely good. So was really happy for him. And obviously, it would have been nice to get another one. Sebastian had a nice chance in the second half as well, and we're a little bit unlucky.
Thank you. Looks like we have time for one more question for Josh Wolff. Phil West, go for it.
Yeah, so actually I was curious a little bit about the yellow card foul that was on Danny that could have been a red. I know you were talking to the fourth official. What did you say? What did they say back?
Yeah, I mean, we say a lot of things. They said it was reckless, but it wasn't violent, and there's no intention for him to go play the ball. So it was certainly reckless. And there's plenty of tackles that come in with speed and force and have no intent on the ball. And again, it's where we are. I didn't think the ref had a particularly good night. That's for sure. I think he was off and inconsistent throughout. And again, is it a yellow? Is it a red? I'm sure they'll send us an email saying something, but clearly, they'll back one another. And they said it wasn't violent is the word that I heard. It looked pretty violent, but they said it wasn't violent. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it was in the range of violent, I would say. And so different coach though, but same result. You're 0-3 against Dallas. How do you solve them? What do you do next year?
Well, again, I think in each game there are real takeaways. I mean, if we wanted to dissect each game, we could do that and we could talk about it. I think in each game there are results there. And again, we fell off the boat in the second one where we had pretty good control. In this game as well, I think it was a pretty controlled performance. The red card changes the fate of the game. I think that's pretty clear. The second half, they had very little. They didn't have much in the first half. And again, I think our ability to play and the pulse of the game was more on our tempo and certainly where we were at the second half. But, we got to score goals and obviously be better when we have the lead and, be a little more ruthless in those areas. But, I think results were there in all three of those games. And it's disappointing to not get anything out of those games. But we appreciate the fans coming out again. They've been tremendous all year. And once again, on the road, they were awesome. For us, this was an opportunity to again, win that trophy and obviously give some bragging rights. So there's disappointment. Our guys put a lot into it. We talked about it. And, it's one that got away.
Thank you. That was the last question today for Josh. We'll be joined with midfielder Diego Fagundez here shortly. Hi, Diego. We're joined here with a couple of media members up in the press box and some back home.
Okay.
All right, Chris Bills, go for it.
Yeah, Diego, saw you guys look up at the fans after this one. Obviously, a good crowd made it again 200 miles to see you guys. And, you know, I'm just wondering if you can kind of put into words the emotion that you guys feel after a game like this, where, you know, you put so much into it and they wanted it, you know, they wanted it bad, just feeling their support, but also the disappointment of a night like tonight.
I don't even know how to. I know I'm frustrated because I think if we finish the game 11-11, I think we go up and we win this game. Soccer is, you know, things happen in the game. We go down player, and I think we created a couple good chances, and then they punish us. It's a tough one because we wanted to give our fans everything. We wanted to be the best in Texas, and it's a tough pill to swallow, basically. But all we can do is just try to get better and go home and give them results there. So we finished the year at Q2 and looking to finish the season strong.
Thank you. Next up, Eric Goodman.
Hey, Diego, it obviously, you know, didn't turn out this way in the end, but you know, for a moment there, your goal looked like it might end up being, you know, a really important, meaningful goal for this club, you know, potentially to win the trophy. When you did score it, you know, how did you feel? I would say probably one of the best goals that this club has scored this season.
It felt nice. It's one of those things that you need to step up in games like this. And when I have my chance, I try to finish it, and I did well finishing my chance. And it's no matter how pretty the goal is or if you score, when you don't win a game, it doesn't really matter. So for me, it's another one that I can add to the collection and stuff. But at the end of the day, I wanted to win the game, I wanted to win the trophy, and I wanted to get a result, and we didn't do that. So does it mean anything to me? Probably not. Just have to be better and make sure that this team stays strong. And like I said, we need to finish these 2 games that we have left on a high note, and no matter what it takes, everybody needs to be focused and prepared. I know Wednesday's going to be, we want to make it special for our fans, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that they leave happy from the stadium.
Thank you. Next up, Phil West.
Yeah, I want to look a little bit forward to 22. I mean, I'm just kind of curious about what the rebuild of the team is going to be like. And I mean, you've been so amazing with just, you know, your leadership and just your play throughout the year, your effort. Just wondering, do you want to be part of this next year? And what do you think this can be next year?
I can tell you I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here and very happy with it. I know the coaching staff are happy with the way I'm performing, and that's, like I said, this is my new home, Austin is, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm a better player next year. But the season's still not over. We still have 2 games, and I want to perform well in these 2 games. Like I said, I've been giving it my all, and that's all I can keep doing. And hopefully get results in these 2 games. To me, it's important. I know I want to finish the year strong at Q2 and give our fans what they deserve, especially after this tough year that we've had. And then once 22 happens, I think everybody needs to be focused and be ready to come in and have a different year.
Thank you. Looks like we have time for 2 more questions. Michelle, go for it.
Hi, Diego. In the beginning of this season, we spoke about how, you know, you were hoping to make playoffs, but unfortunately, you're not. But you also kept on saying how Austin felt home for you. So kind of going back to that in Spanish, if you can please like reiterate, I guess, like what next season speaks to you and what you're hoping for your goals to be next season going forward.
In Spanish or?
En español, por favor.
No, creo que nosotros siempre quisimos llegar a los playoffs, como siempre del principio dije que quería. es algo que no pudimos lograr, pero como siempre, yo siempre me siento en casa aquí en Austin. Y como le dije a Phil, que no voy a ir a ningún lado, me voy a quedar acá. Estoy muy feliz donde estoy. Creo que el cuerpo técnico me dieron la confianza de ser el jugador que soy hoy. Y para el 2022 voy a venir mejor que este año. Así que hay que enfocarnos en estos últimos 2 partidos que quedan, darnos a los fanáticos la alegría que necesitan en casa y después ir a Portland y jugar contra ahí, y después hay que enfocarnos en el 22. Sabemos que va a ser otro diferente año y tenemos que hacer todo lo posible para mejorar el equipo y que los jugadores vengan listos.
Thank you. Looks like that's actually
Thank
the
you.
last question for tonight. Thank you, Diego. Get home safe, and thank you everyone else. And we'll send a recap and recordings of tonight's press conferences shortly. Good night, all.
Thanks, Laura.